What's going on, boils and ghouls? Skidgore back with another video. This is gonna be a lot of fun because this is the last of the A's, and I saved the best for last as far as I'm concerned, as far as A's go. So this is the last of the A's for my A to Z shelf by shelf. So yeah, man, let's just get into this shit. Hope y'all doing cool. Drinking some Motorhead Ace of Spades Czech style, man. Lemmy and Company approved, yeah. Cheers. Damn, that's good, man. Alright, the music in the background that you're hearing is from Necro Messiah. Badass death thrash, blackened thrash, pretty much. The last hope of humanity. Badass fucking album. Really enjoy these guys. If you took like Venom and Motorhead mixed with a little bit of Sodom, you probably would get what they sound like. I think they're really unique. So Necro Messiah is the background music. Forgot to do that for the last video, actually. So let's just get into this shit. No particular order. It's gonna be a long one. I just got done watching this movie, actually, and I really enjoyed it. It's called And Soon the Darkness. Hell yeah, man, great release from Kino Lorber. They're really putting out some amazing films, amazing content. This is from 1970. Really enjoyed this. Kind of like a road horror in a way. These two girls are out biking, and they're basically being stalked by this psycho that every turn he sees them, and he's basically just a stalker. And it just gets pretty fucked up. Really good performance by Pamela Franklin. I always thought she was such a great, amazing, and very beautiful actress. I first heard of her, I think the first film I saw of her was A Legend of Hell House. I really fell in love with her acting. But she's really good in Soon the Darkness. She really fights back. So it's a great story of feminine fighting back. And Soon the Darkness. Awesome movie. This might be my first Mondo Macabro film I ever got. It's called Aswang, some shit like that. It's basically about a folklore, kind of like a bit of a vampire succubus type creature that preys on pregnant women and takes their babies. Really good fucking movie, man. Aswang definitely deserves a good upgrade Blu-ray release, I think, along with Alucarda. Always been a fan of Lamberto Bava. This is his A Blade in the Dark. Great fucking giallo slash slasher, pretty much. A lot of mean-spirited shit going on in this movie. If you've ever seen this movie, you know the part where the knife goes right into the hand. Oh man, that's just ridiculous gore. I love it. Lamberto Bava's always been like one of my favorite directors. You know, of course he did Demons. Just a really good director, taken right after his old man. But A Blade in the Dark. This is giallo slasher goodness from 1983. This and Macabre would make a good double feature in my view. Some really good mean-spirited gore in that, though, if that's your thing. Italian horror at its finest, as far as I'm concerned. Then we got Angel Heart, Robert De Niro classic. Robert De Niro plays the devil. Man, such a great performance from Robert De Niro. Mickey York is amazing as well. Really good New Orleans atmosphere. Of course, set in New Orleans. Got the whole voodoo vibe thing going. But, man, Robert De Niro's performance just is, the hell's his name? I forget what the hell his name is. It's not saying it. I forget his name in the film, but of course he's the devil, of course. Great movie, Angel Heart. From Something Weird Video, we have X. I actually first heard of this movie from Mortician. I heard a sample of them from one of their songs. I forget what song it is, but yeah, I checked it out, man. I'm glad. This is a really good movie. It's kind of not what you think it is. It's more like it's like this psychotic girl who's pretty much protecting her house from these burglars, and she just takes them all one by one with an axe, and it's just fucking brutal, man. Great release from Something Weird Video. I think this actually has a really good Blu-ray release now, probably 4K for all I know. I don't know, but I just got the Something Weird Video one, but really fucking awesome film. Doris Wishman's cult classic, A Night to Dismember. This movie kind of gets some shit because it is a bit campy, but it is pretty mean-spirited, and some of the fucking murders are actually really well filmed. They do look pretty fake and outdated, I will say, but you know, what do you expect? It was a low budget, but there's a lot of heart in this. The lead actress in this film, Samantha Fox, she did a really good job. Just really believable. I'm not going to give away what happens because it's kind of like a psychological horror in a way. Definitely a slasher as well, but really, really good movie. Pretty much about trying to drive somebody insane to the brink of madness to send them back to the loony bin, and it just kind of backfires. Really good movie though. Doris Wishman, A Night to Dismember. Oh boy, you get into some really brutal shit here. The Mighty Unearthed Films, we have Aftermath and Genesis. Two very infamous short films from Nacho Senri. I never can say that guy's last name right, but he's a phenomenal Spanish director. Really puts out some amazing content. He also did The Abandoned, which I did in my last video, I believe. But this is kind of what he's known for, this Aftermath. Basically, this coroner basically is just obsessed with this woman who comes in on the slab, and he's got a fetish for dead bodies and fucking dead bodies, and he takes a knife and literally just sticks it in her, and just, it's not for everybody. This is really extreme horror. First heard about this through Killjoy of Necrophagia, actually. But really, really brutal film. Very well done, though. It is there's no dialogue at all, but the camera work is pretty amazing. And the gore is just off the fucking page. Aftermath is just one of those movies you have to see at least once, experience it once, you know, take it all in. Not for everybody, like I said. Genesis is a little bit more, less mean-spirited, but kind of more of a tragic story of the sculptor. That one's really good as well. I highly would recommend this. You can find this, Aftermath and Genesis. Really good short films right here. Takashi Miike classic, Audition. This movie will kind of make you think twice about dating that hot girl. You never know what she'll turn out to be. Maybe a psycho like this who's going to put pins in your eyes and chop off your foot. It's a great, disturbing film, though. It's infamous. It's very well known. It's got so many different releases. This is the one from, looks like Lionsgate. Yeah, this is like, I think, one of the first ones. But yeah, I definitely would upgrade this for sure. Excellent movie, Audition. Takashi Miike is one of those directors that just goes for the punch. He just doesn't give a fucking shit. He just films whatever he wants, and very, very disturbing cinema. Of course, Ichi the Killer imprint from the Masters of Horror, which actually was banned. But Audition, it's been called his masterpiece, rightfully so. Got two double back-to-back Asians, looks like, Asian horror. We got A Tale of Two Sisters. Really good psychological horror at its best. Very, very good film. Very well shot. Kim Lee Woon, directed by Kim Ji Woon. I think I said that right. I'm bad with Japanese names, forgive me. Definitely one worth checking out though, A Tale of Two Sisters. Really amazing acting. Really, really great performances in this one, all around. Cheers. Here comes one, a lot of people's favorites, myself included. I actually just got done reading the book for the first time, and I must say the book is a hell of a lot more mean-spirited than the movie, but the movie is great, but that book, holy shit, man, that book is just brutal. Very controversial. And the film I am talking about, of course, is the great Christian Bale, one of his best performances ever in American Psycho, as far as I'm concerned. He personifies a serial killer and somebody with serial killer tendencies. Someone who's basically all about himself, doesn't give a fuck about anyone else but himself. Very, very OCD, very... just a total douchebag. Christian Bale, like I said, this and The Machinist are one of my absolute favorite films from him, as far as I'm concerned. William Dafoe is also in this. Really cool performance as well. He's always great and everything. The scene with the chainsaw, that's one of my favorites. Of course, when he's blowing everyone away when he gets in his office, or when he's actually leaving, when he's blowing everyone away with his gun, and yeah, it's pretty badass. Very, very awesome film. American Psycho. I'm sure everyone has seen this. It's definitely a cult classic for sure. American Psycho 2, I don't remember that one. I'll have to rewatch that. It's been a long time. I know I've seen it. I think the girl who does the voice in Family Guy is the killer in that, if memory serves me right. We're going into the Euroshot collection, some Fulci goodness with Enigma. Oh man, I love this movie. This movie is kind of known for being a bit like of a Carrie ripoff, and I kind of get that vibe. You know, a lot of bullying going on and a lot of redemption from the character in the end. It's also known for having the scene with the snails. Death by snails. Some really good kills in this. Fulci was in full force for this one. I'm glad this is getting more recognition now. This is the old Image DVD I've had for fucking years. But it's got a really good Blu-ray release, I think from Severin, I want to say. So definitely check that out if you want a really good pristine version, like really crisp. This one's pretty cloudy, and I actually wouldn't mind upgrading because I actually really like this movie, and this is pretty fucking muddy, but it served me well for many years, so I can't talk shit about it, you know. Fulci, great. Enigma. Fred's dead. Blue Underground, featuring Zelda Rubinstein from the little old lady from Poltergeist. This is Anguish. Very awesome film. First heard about this one through Rue Morgue magazine on their 100 alternate horror movies to watch for Halloween or some shit like that. I'm glad I discovered it though, man. It's really good. After being hypnotized by his bizarre mother, Rubinstein, a man goes on a brutal killing spree, complete with telepathic commands from Mom to carve the eyeballs from his victims. So basically this guy's going around and carving out eyeballs. Pretty brutal shit. Anguish, good movie. That one's definitely worth your time. This one's so much fun too. Rod Schneider and Yvonne DiCarlo, Lily Munster in American Gothic. Great slasher type film. Really enjoy the atmosphere of this. There's a scene in this movie that cracks me up every time. It's the swing off the cliff part. If you know, you know. It's just great. It's a great scene. Great film, American Gothic. Definitely for slasher completists, for sure. Definitely highly recommended. Oh yeah, man, I enjoy this one too a lot. This is The Aftermath. This was kind of like a recent find, probably about a year ago. I first discovered this one. A really good performance from Sid Haig. This is probably one of his best, like, heel roles, I would say. He's really good in this. He's like this, this leader of this brutal fucking gang. This is basically kind of like a end of the world type movie where, pretty much, it's type of survival horror. Fucking great though. The late great Forrest J. Ackerman of Famous Monsters of Filmland is actually in this film too, which also enticed me. Great movie. Check it out, Aftermath. This is one of my all-time favorites right here. The Antichrist. Oh man, this movie brings back so many good memories of first discovering this fucker. Oh my god. Obviously, I'm a fan of Exorcist like everyone else, but I mean, I think this movie actually even came out before The Exorcist. I think the director was even saying that in the behind-the-scenes interview. But of course, The Exorcist, was the top contender of this type of film, the demonic possession type movies. But The Antichrist does it really well, very fucking well. In Rome, a Beautiful Woman, Carla Gravini, amazing performance from her, by the way, is left paralyzed by the trauma of a horrific childhood accident. And when she's placed under hypnosis, she is seized by visions of her past. Yeah, she starts seeing these really demonic visions and then eventually becomes possessed. Gives her soul to Satan, pretty much. And some really great scenes. Arthur Kennedy, one of my favorites from Let Sleeping Corpses Lie, plays a priest. He's really great in this. And she goes through a couple priests, actually. And I love her dialogue. It's among some of my favorite, like, blasphemous dialogue. That and, like, Beyond the Darkness or Beyond the Door are probably the best as far as, like, vulgar dialogue or possession films. That's great. I like the scene where she's floating. I mean, it's so cheesy, but still, for that time, this is what, 74, 75? Yeah, 74. So yeah, a year after The Exorcist, but I really think this film actually was in the can before The Exorcist. I want to say that's probably true, because I think that's what the director said. So it's a very, very atmospheric film, a classic example of Italian horror that you can just latch onto and just lose yourself in. Amazing performance all around, but Carla Gravini is just amazing. Show me your Christian charity. Here is the devil. Oh man, there's so many good quotes in that movie. Now, a company of Visual Vengeance. This is cause for celebration because I was after this movie for so long. The Abomination. This is the actual old VHS cover, you remember? But this movie was a trip. Good creature feature. Creature feature at its finest. An 80s style, you cannot, they don't make movies like this anymore, It's definitely a product of its time. Great gore. Basically, this monster lives in this dude's fucking kitchen and people just keep getting fucked. He keeps feeding all these people to the monster. Such gory goodness, man. The Abomination. This was such a treat from Visual Vengeance. We are definitely getting rather spoiled as far as collector goes. If you're a fan of physical media like I am. Oh shit. Now this movie has like one of the best casts, I think. You got Martin Landau, Jack Palance, and Donald fucking Pleasance, and Alone in the Dark. I hate this fucking cover. Does it come with it? No, it doesn't. But the original VHS art was so fucking cool. It was that dude with the axe in the field. and it just says Alone in the Dark, and that cover always enticed me when I was a youngster in the video store, you know. But this movie all around is amazing, absolutely amazing. The cast like that, it has to be. But the story is really good, and I believe this might want to be the first movie where a killer wears a hockey mask. This is way before Friday the 13th Part 3, too. So, oh yeah, I gotta mention the Sick Fucks, the awesome underground punk band in the movie, the Sick Fucks. Chop up your mother! Fucking awesome, man. I love this fucking movie, Alone in the Dark. One of my all-time favorite 80s slashers, for sure. I love the fact that Donald Pleasance is pretty much as fucked up as these inmates are, and he kind of becomes one of them in a way. He gives them a lot of leeway, and then when the power goes out and all these crazy fucking killers escape and just go on a killing spree, man, this is one of the best. I absolutely love this. This is directed by Jack Sholder, who also did The Hidden and Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. But man, Alone in the Dark, an absolute slasher classic. I love that scene where the knife penetrates the chick in the bed. That's so fucking cool. Another classic, I actually had the VHS of this in my last video, but this is a little bit better version. There's actually a really good version of Alice, Sweet Alice, a Blu-ray version, which I would really love to get. It's a beautiful yellow cover. But this artwork, this VHS artwork, I was scared the shit out of me when I was a kid in the video store seeing that. Very good movie, very good performances. A very young Brooke Shields, of course, as we all know. But Alfred Soule, he was pretty much ahead of his time with this movie, I think. Because it has so many giallo elements within it. It plays out more like a giallo than a slasher. But of course it's pretty much lumped in the slasher camp, which, you know, rightfully so. But there's a lot going on in this fucking movie. 10-year-old Karen Brooke Shields is killed in the church on the occasion of her first communion. Her seemingly innocent older sister Alice, played by Paula Shepherd, becomes the prime suspect. Now, Paula Shepherd, absolutely creepy little girl. And you think that she's just gonna be the main, you know, the killer, you know, and it just gets fucking crazy. That's all I'll say. If you've never seen Alice, Sweet Alice, check it out. Definitely a classic. From Cult Epics, we have Angst. This is one of the best representation of a serial killer in a horror movie that you'll ever see. One of them, at least. Right up there with Confessions of a Serial Killer, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, Murder Lost, Maniac. I'm sure I'm missing some, but yeah, this is right up there. Really good story. I forget what killer this is based off of, but it's actually based off a real case. I don't think it says who the killer was, though. But anyway, this guy basically is released from this mental asylum. Or is it a prison? I think it's a prison/mental asylum. Because he's killed before. And like dumbasses, they let him out. And the first thing he does is after he gets a bite to eat, he tries to find people to kill. So, a lot of good rehabilitation did him, right? And it's based on a true case as well. I'll have to do a little more research to find out who the actual serial killer is, but Angst is amazing, man. Fucking awesome. The scene in the house where he's terrorizing the family and the old lady and the mentally handicapped guy in the wheelchair, that's just some brutal shit. And when he's chasing that chick through the alley and then he slits her throat and the blood just flies out, man, that is some brutal shit. Angst, definitely up there for extreme horror. This is a pretty creepy movie, actually. I actually heard of this movie through Philip H. Anselmo. He was talking about this movie in an interview. This is from Mike Flanagan, who, of course, we all know for A lot of good Stephen King adaptations, shit like that. But this is one of his first films. I think this is his first film. Absentia. Amazing film. It's got a really good H.P. Lovecraft type, a bit of a Lovecraftian atmosphere with the monsters in this tunnel, basically. Really good score too. Really feel for the character, like the main actress. She's actually really good and believable as being this tormented soul, you know. Teresa's husband has been missing for 7 years. Her younger sister, Callie, comes in to live with her as the pressure mounts to finally declare him dead. Yeah, and he shows up and just shit goes crazy. There's a scene in this movie too that actually kind of even scares me. She's in the dark and she knows something's in there and she can hear it. She knows like this creature is in her midst, and it's just pretty creepy, man. Absentia, fucking awesome movie from Mike Flanagan. We got a good modern Giallo, Amir. Enjoyed this one. Very Dario Argento inspired for sure. Mario Bava, all the greats. Fucking awesome, man. A good throwback Giallo in modern times. It works. This is a good one too, a dark song. This was a really good one. I enjoyed this one. Grieving, Sophia despairs over the tragic loss of her murdered son. Desperate to somehow make contact with the boy, she believes her prayers are answered when she crosses paths with the reclusive Joseph. A great performance by Steve Dram. He's great. He's kind of an asshole to her in a way, but he's really serious about what he does. In fact, he's too serious. Shit just gets fucking crazy, and she's getting signs, of course. But is it really her dead son, or is it something else, you know? You gotta watch it to find out. But a dark song. Badass movie from IFC Midnight. Another good modern one from the Soska sisters, American Mary. Now, I am a big Catherine Isabel fan. I think she's absolutely amazing and beautiful. And she does a really good performance in this. Probably her best performance since like Ginger Snaps, I would say. Maybe even better. She plays this medical school student. Basically, she'll do anything for money, including surgery and body modification. And she kind of gets into the underground of that for money. And then she kind of just loses her fucking mind, too, of all the things that she has to do. She comes desensitized, basically. But it's a really good performance by Catherine Isabel. Amazing. Absolutely amazing, American Mary. Definitely have to upgrade that one. Ah, yes, Lars von Trier, Antichrist. Whew, this one... Emotional breakdown. That's all I can say. Just psychological, fucked up images. I guess demonic possession. Just the visuals with the animals alive and dead. That just is so haunting. And this, of course, the scene in the beginning with the little boy in the window. Wow, that's pretty nasty, man. But this is such a good film. Probably my favorite Lars von Trier movies, Antichrist. William Dafoe just kills this role. But I have to say the actress's name, Charlotte Gainsbourg. She was absolutely amazing. Really unhinged performance. Right up there with Isabella from The Possession with Sam Neill. That one, right up there with that type of performance. Not used to talking so long, sorry. Throat's so dry. I had the VHS of this in my last showing, but this is the DVD. I think it also has a Blu-ray as well. But Almost Human by Joe Bagos. Joe Bagos is a filmmaker to be reckoned with. Absolutely amazing filmmaker. Everything I've seen by him, I have liked. Check out his filmography. If you never heard of Joe Begos, amazing filmmaker. Really good 80s throwback horror sci-fi-ish type film. Really good gore. Definitely inspired by the greats like Fulci. Even says that in like commentary. This dude's head's right in the right place though when it comes to horror. Awesome. Joe Begos, absolutely amazing. And we have Volume 2 of the American Horror Project. I unfortunately do not have 1 or 3, or I don't even know what they're up to now. But from Arrow Video, this is a really awesome set. I mostly got this for the child. The child is... Holy shit, man. How do I explain this? Okay, so this spoiled little girl who basically has these telepathic powers with the dead. She can raise the dead and have the dead do her evil biddings. That's it in a nutshell, basically. So these rotting zombies are her friends, basically. And she sneaks off to the cemetery at night. Really good atmosphere. Dream No Evil was really good as well. And Dark August. This was actually a really good set from Arrow. American Horror Project. A lot of these are made for TV horror films that never really had good releases. I know The Child had a Something Weird video release, and I wanted that for years, but it just goes for so much money. So I'm really glad it finally came out on this pack. But all those movies are great, but of course The Child is the one that sticks out for me personally. I had the VHS of this in my last up as well, but this is an American Werewolf in London. There's so many versions of this movie. This is kind of more of a, I don't know, it works for me, but of course there's a really amazing Arrow version with all the bells and whistles, but this one's alright for me. Amazing transformation scene by Rick Baker, of course, we all know. John Landis, who's actually more known for being a comedy director, so of course there's a lot of comedy elements in this, and that's what kind of people kind of get thrown off by this movie. I mean, I remember the first time I saw this movie was on Comedy Central, which is weird because it's not a comedy. It does have a lot of comedy elements in it, but it is actually a pretty tragic love story in a way. And Jenny Otter, she's absolutely beautiful. David Noddington has basically put him on the map as far as I'm concerned. And Griffin Dunne is great as the corpse. Such great moments in American Werewolf in London. I think the best part in this movie is actually the dream sequence with like all the Nazi fucking werewolves blowing the family away and then slits David Noddington's throat. Those got me when I was a kid. Awesome movie. We all know how great American Werewolf in London is. This is my personal favorite Amityville film because it kind of tells more of the backstory of the Ron DeFeo murders as Amityville 2: The Possession. So basically this is a prequel to the Amityville horror if you think about it. But it's done really well. It's also an Italian production as well. But there's scenes in this movie that actually still are very disturbing to this day. Of course, there's a family massacre scene at night when he's got that demonic face and he's walking around with that gun and just blowing his family away. And he's possessed, and it's pretty fucking creepy. I think the last part of the film, it's not as strong as the beginning and, of course, the massacre scene in the middle. Then it kind of becomes like a court case to find out whether he's possessed or not. But this is a really good fucking movie. Amityville 2: The Possession is definitely a film that gets under your skin for sure. And if you're a fan of Amityville Horror from '79, which is coming up obviously, I think you should really check this one out to find out where that story began as far as the Lutz moving into the house and shit. This is the real story. Speaking of Rick Baker, Monster Maker, he's also does the great effects in Altered States. Or is this Dick Smith? Is this Dick Smith or Rick Baker? I'm sorry, I might have gotten that wrong. Altered States, though, classic. I might have gotten that wrong. It might be Dick Smith. Actually, I think it is Dick Smith who did the effects in Altered States. One of my favorite Vincent Price roles of all time, The Abominable Dr. Phibes and Dr. Phibes Rises Again. Really good double feature here. This is all you need right here. Vincent Price was just a force of horror. Just one of those actors that could never be duplicated. You'll never find another Vincent Price. He was just one in a million. Just his voice alone, the voice of horror, right up there with Boris Karloff and Lugosi and Christopher Lee, etc., etc. Just one of those classic horror actors, and some of his most menacing performances is Dr. Phibes. And the Phibes movies were really ahead of their time as far as torture horror go. Like, all these elaborate torture devices. It's definitely one of the first of its kind for that. Amazing fucking series. Definitely gonna upgrade those at some point. Oh, we have another great film from Kino Lorber. They're just killing it with these releases. Robert Powell in The Asphyx. Asphyx? Or is it Asphyx? I don't know. Asphyx? Asphyx? I've heard both. I don't know what's right. Classic 72. Let's see, we have from 72, Asylum from Amicus Films. Amicus Films was pretty much the rival company to Hammer, and they did utilize a lot of Hammer horror actors such as Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, Herbert Lom, people like that. But Roy Ward Baker directed this one. And this movie is one of my favorite horror anthologies of all time. I love the fact that this doctor who's accepting this new job is not going to get this job unless he identifies a certain Dr. Starr from all three of these stories. And the wraparound at the end is total mindfuck, man. Just do not see that shit coming. Amazing performance. I love the Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing story as well, with the suit. That's one of my favorites. They just knock these horror anthologies out of the park, you know. Amicus Films, just amazing. Some of my absolute favorite films of all time. And we got the classic Amityville Horror from 1979. James Brolin and Margot Kidder, rest in peace. I remember the first time I saw this movie, it was actually in a big box in the video store, and I wanted to rent it, but I couldn't, because of course I wasn't of age, but my sister, thank you, rented it for me. Took it home, watched it, it really left an impression on me, especially the opening scenes with the murders, where they're about to buy, the Lutzes are about to buy the house, but then they see flashbacks of the murders, you know, the shotgun killings and shit. That really left an impression on me. And of course the beast scenes. It's not... I also fell in love with Harry the dog, of course, because I'm a dog person. I will say... Oh yeah, Murray Hamilton of Jaws and Jaws 2 fame is in this as well, as a priest. But it doesn't beat Amityville 2, The Possession, in my view. That's the best Amityville movie. But this is definitely a bona fide classic haunted house, demonic possession film of all time, for sure. Based on the book by Jay Aston. Okay, I'm gonna save this one. And now The Screaming starts, another Amicus classic with Peter Cushing again. Patrick Magee is in this. He's a great actor as well. I loved him in Clockwork Orange and Tales from the Crypt as well. But this is a great horror anthology as well from Amicus Films. The last story with Ian Ogilvy where he desecrates the corpse. That's my personal favorite. I love the atmosphere. All these are great. But Herbert Lom plays like a total asshole and a rapist. If you want to see him in a really sinister role, obviously Mark of the Devil he's known for as well, but this one he really shines as an asshole as well. Peter Cushing, charming as always, trying to get to the heart of the matter, trying to be helpful, but he just gets caught up in this depravity of violence and a lot of supernatural elements as well. And the woodcutter is so fucking creepy. He got his eyes shot out, so like he has no eyes, but they're like black sockets with blood coming out. Kind of reminds me a bit of like Arthur Grimsdyke makeup from Tales from the Crypt when you see him. It's just pretty fucking creepy. He keeps popping up. Really well done from Amicus. And now the screaming starts. We just lost a true horror legend and a true exploitation, just film in general legend, and George Eastman. So, little George Eastman tribute here with Anthropophagus, aka the Grim Reaper. This is another movie I first heard about through the late great Killjoy of Necrophagia. He was talking about this scene where the cannibal rips the fetus out of the woman and takes a bite out of it. And that just sounded so brutal, man. I had to see it. So then when I finally got this Shriek Show edition years ago, I watched it, and then what I found was it was actually a very creepy film. George Eastman as the cannibal. He's creepy, man. The way he creeps around and his look. That scene where he's in the house and he's stalking the woman. I mean, it's right up. It's fucking thing of nightmares. His facial expressions and the knife that he's holding, and he's just getting closer and closer. And he's really mechanical in his movements, kind of like Michael Myers a bit. Except he was just an absolute amazing actor. And there were some really good brutal scenes in this movie. Of course, the scene at the end where he's eating his guts, that always stands out. I later found out that was pretty much a skinned rabbit that he took a bite out of. But at the time, it was so... I had to see that scene, just hearing from what Killjoy said about it. The fetus getting ripped out of a woman and taking a bite out of it. It just sounded so brutal. And it is. But Anthropophagus, have you ever seen this? There's a really good version of this from, I believe, Severin. They just put out a really good version. It's in a pack along with this movie. I have the DVD, but there is a good version from Severin as well, but for Absurd. This also stars George Eastman. It's kind of been known as a bit of a... It's called Anthropophagus 2, also known as Horrible, but it really has nothing whatsoever to do with the first Anthropophagus. It's really its own movie. It's actually more like Halloween 2 in a way, because you got this crazed doctor who's going around looking for George Eastman, this fucking unstoppable killer, basically. And there's some really brutal kills in this movie. Really brutal. There's a scene where George Eastman puts this lady's head in a fucking oven and just cooks her. That's fucking awesome. Really good gore groceries in this one. If I had to choose, I probably would take Anthropophagus over this one, but this is definitely a really good film to check out. Rest in peace, George Eastman. You were a cinema legend for sure. Glad we have your films to watch. Sergio Martino greatness, All Colors of the Dark. Every movie I've talked about is just a first round knockout. I've saved the best A's for last, as I said. Amazing Giallo. A lot of satanic violence going on in this. What can you say? Edwin Fenech, probably one of the most beautiful women in cinema history. Not even just horror, but just cinema history. She's so striking, so beautiful, so stunning. Great actress as well. She's also in Strip Nude for Your Killer. many other movies. George Hilton, if you ever see his name, he's probably going to be a really sinister bad guy, and All Colors of the Dark really shines. Great film from Sergio Martino. Italian horror at its finest. From 1979, this was a really, really good welcome to the collection. I've always wanted this. From Severin Films, again, they release such amazing movies and rescue them. Allison's Birthday. This movie has so much great atmosphere, very unsettling. When a teenage seance warns orphan Allison not to return home for her 19th birthday, it will unlock an occult conspiracy of fear, violence, and demonic deliverance. Yeah. Definitely exploitation at its finest. Really good horrific elements in this. Really great acting as well. Really believable. You get a lot of great special features too on here. The Devil Down Under, Satanic Panic in Australia. It's worth it just for that. Severin Films and Arrow are those companies that are just putting out such amazing releases of these classic horror and exploitation films, and they just load them with special features. And they're just such a joy to check out, and all the commentary, Trey Howarth, people like that. You just learn so much. But great release. Allison's Birthday. Another great 70s giallo with Mimsy Farmer and Autopsy. I believe the death metal band Autopsy, Chris Rayford got the name for the band from this movie. I'm pretty sure. Fucking amazing movie. From 73, really good. Old one. Ennio Morricone did the score. You see his name for a score, you know you're getting a great product. Mimsy Farmer, though, amazing. This movie is right up there with, God, what's that other movie? Short Night of Glass Dolls, that's another one of my favorites. Really good giallos. John Carradine in 1968 classic. I don't know if I would say classic, but it's a Ted V. Michaels. Astro Zombies. This is the only one I've seen. I think there's 3 other ones I gotta get my hands on, but I do enjoy the campy elements of Astro Zombies for sure. Just fun movie to watch. Turn your brain off and just have fun, you know? This was such a welcome again from Severin, my God. And Barbara Steele, one of my absolute favorite. An Angel for Satan. Really cool slipcover as well. Severin Films just gives it their all when it comes to art. But this movie is right up there with Nightmare Castle, Mask of Satan. Barbara Steele is... I would say she's probably my favorite Italian horror actress. I would probably say that's true. I think her performance in all these movies, especially Nightmare Castle and Mask of Satan, are just total top notch. But An Angel for Satan, absolutely amazing. Long Hair of Death is another one. I'm sure I'm missing some. She was like the scream queen Italian horror back in the 60s and the 70s. But such a great film. If you've never seen An Angel for Satan, highly recommended. And that's such a great release from Severin. One of my all-time favorite movies of all time. All time. Absolutely love this movie. Tina Romero is just relentless. And that is Alucarda from 73. This movie personifies Satanism at its finest. Nunsploitation, demonic possession, just exploitation in general, vampiric type horror, the whole 9 yards. This is one of the best movies. Yeah, it's right up there with Ken Russell's The Devil, I agree. But Tina Romero is Justine. Amazing performance. She's always screaming. She's always being so sinister and evil and blasphemic. I love it. I love that last scene where all the nuns are fucking starting to burn, and this is the ultimate black metal movie, I'm telling you. Like, there's imagery in this movie that are totally out of, like, a black metal album. Like, there's crosses burning and shit. It's like right out of a Gorgoroth video or something, you know? But Alucarda from Mondo Macabro, this is my absolute favorite release from them. And I still cannot believe this doesn't have a Blu-ray. It's still on DVD, but man, this is such a great movie. Mexican Satanism at its finest. I mean, it's just amazing. Strange relationship between two young girls, Justine and Alucarda, and how their relationship destroyed the lives of those around them in a torrent of blood, sex, and damnation. Yeah. And I love the quote down here. More blood, loud screaming, and nudity than any horror film I can think of. Very true. Alucarda, amazing. Absolutely fucking amazing. One of the greatest. Jeez. And down to the nitty gritty. Oh, we got some classic Coffin Joe. It's one of my favorite shit. At midnight, I'll take your soul. That scene where he goes in the bar and just owns everybody. And he's so demonic, and all he wants is a son, the perfect son that's like free of any kind of religion or any kind of religious bullshit that he doesn't believe in. Total atheist. Such a sinister figure. Jose Mojica Martins. Absolute fucking classic. Brazilian boogeyman, if you will. Absolute finest. Coffin Joe. Coffin Joe is just... he's such a presence when he's on screen. And of course he's got the top hat and those fingernails that just go right through you. Poke your eyes out and shit. Really good ghostly atmosphere too in this film, especially towards the end. Unbelievable. I love the scene where he plucks out the doctor's eye. That's some of my favorite shit. What more can I say about At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul? It's just absolutely amazing Coffin Joe goodness. Which also brings us to Awakening of the Beast. This is kind of more of a psychological study, or more of a psychedelic Coffin Joe film. Where Coffin Joe is actually, Jose Mojica Martins actually is part of this scientific experiment with all these drug addicts experimenting with hallucinogens and LSD and dreams and just demonic shit and the effect of horror movies on viewers. It's actually a really cool movie, man. Awakening of the Beast. And I can't go without bringing this big-ass, badass set inside the mind of Coffin Joe. Absolute beautiful set. This is how you do a box set right here. And of course it's got this, At Midnight I'll Take Your Soul, This Night I'll Possess Your Corpse, The Strange World of Coffin Joe, The Awakening of the Beast, The End of Man, When the Gods Fall Asleep, The Strange Hostel of Naked Pleasures, great title. Hellish Flesh, Hallucinations of a Deranged Mind, Embodiment of Evil, which is fucking amazing, and The Strange World of Jose Mojica Martins. I have yet to watch some of these. I tore into some of this shit, and I still have to finish some of it. But I absolutely love Coffin Joe. One of my absolute favorite. And the A's would not be complete without this beautiful set. Still one of the best Nightmare on Elm Street sets still to this day, I think. This is actually one of the first ever sets I got. DVD sets when I got a DVD player. So much fun with this, kind of like the Alien Quadrilogy. This is like among the first shit that I would bring over to friend's house and we just binge watch this shit, you know. Comes with Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, Dream Warriors, Dream Master, The Dream Child, Freddy's Dead, New Nightmare, and of course the Nightmare series compilation and a pretty cool booklet. This is still a great set. I love all these movies. I think the first three are probably among my favorites. But it's still pretty beat the shit. It's been through a lot of moves and stuff, but the Nightmare Collection. That's where it's at, man. And we got a couple more movies left, and I saved like the most brutal shit for last, because it's not for everybody. But the most gory movie, for serious gore, we're talking like really extreme, disturbing gore. I think this movie takes the cake, and that's American Guinea Pig, Bouquet of Guts and Gore. Directed by Stephen Biro himself, the man from Under Films. Great effects by Marcus Cook. Cinematography by Jim Van Bebber. So you got a lot of great minds for extreme cinema in this one movie. Absolutely amazing. I can't show some of that. You get the picture though. This is just... Like I said, this one is not for everybody. Two women are abducted by a group of snuff filmmakers and brought into a hellish nightmare of unspeakable brutality, viciousness, and destruction that will leave every viewer shocked, amazed, and awestruck. A love letter to ultra gorehounds the world over. The American Guinea Pig series is about to begin. Yep, this is the first in Biro's American Guinea Pig series. Still my personal favorite as well. Some of the greatest gore gags you'll ever fucking see, and like I said, a serious depiction of gore, not like Dead Alive or, you know, Olaf Ickenbach stuff that's kind of like campy. It's still brutal, but it's, you know, it's campy. This is the real disgusting, shocking shit. I mean, this is not for everybody. I've had people walk out when I've had this on already. But it's all fun, man. And anyone knows the Guinea Pig series is originally a Japanese series, but Stephen Biro wanted to make the American Guinea Pig, and this is his love letter to gorehounds everywhere. If you're into this, you know what it is already. Housecore Horror Film Festival winner too. It's got Phil's approval. And saving the last most extreme movies ever made, depending on who you talk to, I guess. I better take a drink before I talk about these. Okay, so I'm about to delve into the infamous AU trilogy. Going out with a bang. August Underground, the sickest film ever made. Is it? You be the judge. I love this release too because it's off of Toe Tag Pictures, who unfortunately do not exist anymore. I don't think they do anyway. Their website's even gone. But I remember I was a long-time fan of this this company, Toe Tag Pictures, Fred Vogel. Glad I got this version. Comes with an awesome documentary too. Hammer to the Head, a closer look at August Underground. Amazing release from Toe Tag Pictures. But of course I can't go without mentioning, from Unearthed Films, they released August Underground as well. And I'm glad they did, because more people can finally experience these brutal ass fucking movies for themselves. Because they were really hard to find, and now they're really easy. Which I think is a good thing, and maybe even a bad thing, because these movies were like a badge of honor to watch, you know? I mean, you would talk to somebody about the AU trilogy, and they'd be like, oh my god, what the fuck is that, you know? And they'd be like really underground, literally underground movies that you'd have to kind of seek out. But now being distributed through Unearthed Films, everyone can pretty much see it. I think you can buy these in Best Buy now, you know? Still, doesn't make the films any less have an impact, you know? And it's got all the bells and whistles that you need. A lot of new stuff as well. But of course, snuff filmmaking at its best. Like, this is the most representation of a fake snuff film in realistic terms that you'll ever fucking see. It's basically the creme de la creme. You'll find these movies on like every disturbing list you can think of. and rightfully so, it deserves it. Which brings me to the second one, Mortem. This is another original from Toe Tag Pictures release, signed by the late great Killjoy of Necrophagia, who plays one of the killers in the movie. One of my prized possessions of all time right here. Got him to sign this at a Necrophagia show. I'll never forget that shit. But the film itself is just a descent into depravity. And this one also has Christy Wales and Michael Todd Schneider, along with Killjoy. Jeremiah Cruz is on board for makeup effects. Absolutely disgusting. You'll see this movie on every disgusting, most disturbing list on YouTube that you can think of, and rightfully so, it deserves it. This whole series does. This is not for everybody. This is the extreme shit. It's not for everybody. But the few and the proud that like this shit, look no further. And of course, the Mighty Unearthed Films released Mortem as well. A really good version. Also comes with Necrophagia. I have that somewhere up there. I think it's Nightmare Scenarios, but it's actually on here, which is cool, because I think that Nightmare Scenarios Necrophagia DVD is out of print. So it's cool it's on here for people to see and enjoy and experience. Necrophagia's music also says it's got a new Remembering Killjoy. That's a really awesome segment in the DVD features and Blu-ray features. Really enjoyed that. I think my favorite is listening to the commentary by Fred and learning more about these movies and the process of making them. They went through a lot of hell making these movies. A lot of suffering, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Extreme at its finest. And the last one, and the last of this shelf by shelf for the A's, goes to August Underground Penance, autographed by the mighty Fred Vogel. This is also another Toe Tag Pictures release, original. Don't get no better than that. But of course, Byro released The Great Penance on Unearthed Films as well. And this is kind of a fitting end for the AU trilogy. The story, the journey, this depraved journey of these characters. Preferably Peter, the Fred Vogel character. Kind of they all get their comeuppance at the end, and just everything just turns to shit. This is a good Christmas movie as well. There's a good Christmas scene in this. Watch this on Christmas with your family. You might not have a family after you watch that. But, hell yeah, man. Anyway, that's the Shelf by Shelf series. That's it for the A's, unless I find any more creeping around. I think I got everything, but you never know. Something might pop up that I forgot about. Or I might just add something, too. It's thing as collectors. You never stop collecting, but I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back whenever I can. I always appreciate each and every one of you watching my videos. Until next time, I'm Skid Gore. Gore forever. And bet your ass, physical goddamn media forever. Never change.